Sometimes it's necessary to bike in the winter, and this can be a really cold experience. So what I do is I use these toques, and I use one or two of them, and I just put them under, I wear them, and then I wear my helmet over top, and then I can fold it back like this if I want more warmth. If it's really cold, then I can use wool too. All right, so the first option is just to put two toques, one on top of the other. These are synthetic toques. And then just to wear the helmet over top and make sure your ears are covered. If it gets even colder, you can wear a wool hat like this. It's a lamb's wool hat. You can wear some other hat too. It should be a little bit thin so it'll fit underneath the helmet when you wear it. This is for when it's a little bit colder. Sometimes when biking in cold weather, hands can get cold. The first option is sort of a biking glove. You can wear some stretchy gloves underneath. These are knitted gloves, they're very cheap. And then you can just put them on and wear them underneath. And then your hands are a little bit warmer. That's one option. The next option, if it gets a little colder, is to just wear some deerskin gloves, some work gloves. These actually work pretty good. You can wear these for motorbiking as well. So it's a leather glove that fits over your hand, and it works for working outside. It also works when you're holding handlebars and squeezing the brakes. That's really all it has to do, and it's not designed for this purpose, but it works great. And then if you fall with leather gloves, the idea is then you don't get stones in your hands. That's the whole point. And then also if you're going like that on the handlebars, then it's a lot easier on your skin. The next option, if it gets even colder, is like a leather glove, like an insulated leather glove. I treated these with Vaseline, and so they're slightly waterproof, and they're very good. They're warm, and they're really motorcycling gloves, but I use them for driving. You can also use them for biking. They're pretty good. Now, if it gets really wet, which can sometimes happen, wet and cold and rainy, then you can use these type of gloves. These are neoprene gloves. These are hunting gloves, so they have high dexterity with the fingers. And you can actually put your hand in freezing cold water and it'll work perfectly. They're designed for hunting and fishing for really cold, wet, icy conditions. They have one downside, is that they don't wear very well. So that's one option, but they're waterproof and they're quite warm. It's a hunting supply or fishing supply, but you can use it for biking too. When you're biking, what happens is the wind hits your knuckles here and here, and that's where you get the coldest. So that's why you need gloves, to just protect the hands from being blown by the cold wind and sometimes rain. Now if it's snowy outside like this, or really cold, then you can wear a glove like this, right? That'll work too, right? That's an insulated glove, so it has a nylon shell, and you can use them too for biking. Right, they'll work too. You can definitely hold onto the handlebars and touch the brakes and shift with them. These are winter gloves, and some types are very expensive and some are not very expensive. So you can use either type, whatever you happen to prefer or what's available. The main thing is that it has some nylon on the outside and some insulation on the inside. Now, when it gets really, really cold, then it's time to go for the mitts. This is when it's really freezing cold. And the mitts have a drawback, and the drawback is they do not your fingers are not very dexterous with them, because they're sort of clumped together like this, but they're warm because it's a big air pocket in there and the fingers are all together, so they're much warmer. So you can still ride a bike with these like that, but it's a lot harder to shift As long as you just have to hold the handlebars and brake, it's probably pretty good. It's fine. You can get warm mitts all over the place. You just have to research them a little bit and find something that works really well for you. Probably if you're biking, you need something that's pretty tough here, because you're going to be gripping a lot, and this will wear out if you don't get a mitt with some tough material here where the grip is. When I'm biking, I usually wear some shoes, like some running shoes or something like that. I don't wear a boot or anything like that. I just put 1 or 2 pairs of socks on, and then I put the shoes on. And because you're doing something athletic, your body is producing a lot of heat and moving blood around your body, so your feet will stay warm, usually even to -10 or 15, using this technique, Celsius, -10 or 15 Celsius. What I do when I'm biking is I take some nylon splash pants like this. See, they're very thin. It's just a thin nylon wind pant. They have lots of different names, but it's just really thin nylon. And the point of it is that it's a wind shield, and it keeps a warm air pocket around your body when you're biking or walking or whatever. They're like this. They're readily available on the internet. I'm going to use some electrical tape to keep my pants out of the way of the bike chains, and also to sort of seal the warm air into the pants when I'm biking. So that's electrical tape. So what I do now is I take these wind pants and I put them on like this. So they're on top now, and now I take it like this, and I just wrap it a little bit tight like that, and then I go around like this. You can even do this without nylon wind pants, and it keeps the pants out of the bike chains. So there it is again. Just wrap it like that. Doesn't really matter which way. Sort of want see, I have jeans underneath. It doesn't matter really what you have underneath. And you go like this, fold it, wrap it around, and then take some electrical tape like that and just stick it on top, wrap it around once or twice, not too hard, and then just tear the electrical tape. This has to be done in a warm area, because it will, the electrical tape doesn't work when it's really cold. So, but if it's applied when it's warm and you take it outside when it's cold, it will still work. See, now I have a pant which traps air in it. I just have regular pants underneath, and that's actually a great biking pant. I just put the shoes over top like that. Right, and then that will actually work quite effectively. When I'm biking, this won't get snagged in the chains, and it keeps me warm, and it has some provision from rain and snow. It stops the wind. If there's a little bit of rain, it won't get through, and also the snow, which is great. That's what it looks like from another angle. You can see just nylon, cheap. The pants are maybe $10, and then the electrical tape is very cheap, and it works great. Keeps you warm. I've used it to -20 Celsius. Now we're going to move on to the face when you're biking. The hats you already know how to do from other videos, and you can just take one shawl and you sort of wrap it around the inside of your coat, and then put your coat on top, or just like this, even like that is fine. Just wrap it around. It's just there to stop the cold air from getting into your coat, so it's like a barrier. It doesn't have to be knotted or anything. And then the second shawl you can put over your face like this, just like that, and then you just form a knot like this. It looks like this is what little kids do in Canada. You sort of knot it like that, and then that goes over your face, and this goes just underneath your eyes, so it covers your face and your mouth, and when the wind blows, you don't get cold. If you have to, you can use 2 shawls. 2. And that's a cheap way of protecting your face in the freezing cold.